What's up, my Wizards dev? From SBMTG down there, 2 videos in one day. What is this? Well, what this is some what if biz. I've got a proposal for you today. I'm really interested in seeing how you react to it. What's your thought process on it? Well, Modern is very, very expensive to play, and Standard rotates much too often now for a lot of players. I've gotten lots of comments and emails about hating the fact that Standard is going to rotate every 6 months, and Pauper is a fun format, but it's really not supported by Wizards that much. It's not really supported by local game stores. It's mostly available on Magic the Gathering Online. So what's a way that we can alleviate this problem? What I'm getting at here is that I think that there is sort of a hole, a rift in the way that tournament, constructed formats are organized. I think that there is actually room for another new format here. Now hear me out. I know we got Vintage, Legacy. Is Extended still a thing? Modern? There's Pauper, there's Commander, there's Standard, there's limited environments, there's all kinds of stuff. So would a new format really matter? Well, I think that if this format was in some small part supported by Wizards, if for instance we got Grand Prix or even Pro Tours in this format, then it would catch on. Now, basically my idea is that we do a new format, and this doesn't take the place of Standard. Standard still exists, it's still a thing, so is Modern, so is every other format. But we put a new format in that basically is like Standard. We could call it Extended, except that's already a name for a thing. But it's basically like Standard, except that it consists of the last 5 blocks that have been released. So right now, this theoretical format would include Shadows over Innistrad block, Battle for Zendikar block, Tarkir block, Theros block, and Return to Ravnica block. Now we could decide what to do with core sets, but the 2 ideas would be to either have the most recent core set, but that would be Magic Origins, obviously. The problem is they're not going to be making more core sets, at least that's what they say. But the other idea is just to leave core sets out of it altogether, which I think might be the way to go. Now this would obviously be a fairly deep format that would allow us to explore interactions between cards and mechanics that have never been in Standard before, and have probably gotten overlooked in the sort of power that is the Modern format. This would likely alleviate the problem of players losing 50, 60, 75% of the value of their binders, or even, in the case of new players, whole collections upon Standard rotation. Standard would still rotate, but the sets would still be in this format, so the cards wouldn't lose anywhere near as much value. And overnight, maybe, it would increase the value of cards that are just sitting in people's boxes from 3 years ago. This would help not only players but also local game stores, and Wizards could expand print runs for old set or just distribute any unsold product. So at this point, everybody wins. Players that have gotten out of Standard because of rotation issues in the last couple of years would likely get back in. I get comments and emails. I have been on YouTube through 2 rotations so far. Every time one happens, I get a bunch of comments and a bunch of emails from people who are saying, like, I'm quitting Magic forever because I can't deal with Standard rotations and I'm not rich enough to play Modern. This would alleviate that problem immediately. You wouldn't have as many people leaving the game, and in fact, you'd have a bunch of people that already left the game coming back. This would be pretty fresh and fairly exciting, getting to explore all the interactions between cards that we haven't really had any reason or opportunity to explore the interactions between. Who wouldn't want to play like the extort mechanic with the current black-white allies that are in, Standard? That would be really cool. You get to play like Ojutai and Sphinx's Revelation in the same deck. You get to play Gideon and Elspeth in the same deck together again. That'd be nice. Imagine if Devotion and Gods and hybrid colored mana came back all at one time. That would be amazing, and it would lead to a bunch of people grinding this new format out and trying to find the best decks in it. And this format would also rotate, so unlike Modern, it would consist of a bunch of different sets, but it would never grow stale. You could ban or restrict cards in this format, likely, obviously ban cards in this format, but it wouldn't be like Modern, where Modern is contingent. The evolution of Modern is often contingent on bannings and unbannings. This format would not be like that. The format wouldn't stale until they decided they had to ban or unban something. That's pretty much my idea right there. Just a new format consists of the last 5 blocks that have been released, and this is just, it's an extended format. I hate to keep using that word because it's already been a format, but that's the perfect word for it. And I just think something like this would be a great transitional thing for people that want to go from Standard into playing Modern. They could stop off at this format and get good at that, you know? So that's another point in its favor. I just think this is an interesting idea, and I'm really interested in what you guys think of it. You know, would you be interested in this at all? That was a quick video, but this has been something that's been on my mind for the last couple of weeks now, and I just really wanted to get it out there. And if anybody's Wizards sees this, please do this. Notice that the reaction in the comments will probably be positive to something like this, I would imagine. I hope I don't eat my words there, but I'm imagining this is probably going to be fairly positive reaction to an idea like this. So let me know how you feel down there, and Wizards, do it. If you enjoyed this content and you want to see more like it, hit the like button. That's very important. It helps me out a lot without you really having to do too much. Share the video. That's actually important in this case. I want this idea to get out there and see how people feel about it. I want a bunch of comments on this one. And then, you know, comment. It feeds into the last thing I was saying. And obviously sub if you're new. All the YouTube things. I'm Deb from SBMTG as usual. Thanks for watching, my Wizards.